Hey guys, it's Annie, and today we're going to be doing the A to Z book tag. No one tagged me in this, I just felt like doing it because it looks fun. This tag has 26 questions and each one starts with a different letter of the alphabet. So, let's get started. A is an author that you've read the most books from. For me, that would have to be Cassandra Clare. I've read 17 of her books, including the Shadowhunters Codex, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, like companion novels, and also the Magisterium series where she's working with Holly Black. And the most recent book I've read from her is Lord of Shadows, and it was so amazing. Oh my god, it was so good. B is the best sequel ever. Now for that, I'd either have to go with Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare or A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I read them both so quickly despite their massive size. I even tagged this one, something I never do. Now this is part of Cassandra Clare's Dark Artifices series, and this is part of Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Both are two of my favorite series of all time. For letter C, you have what you're currently reading. And for this, I have Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. I haven't actually started this, but I just finished a book like an hour ago, and then I was setting up for this video. I really enjoyed the first book, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It was like a 4.5 stars for me. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't bad. It was really good. I got confused with the characters a bit and like who had what ability. D is your drink of choice while reading. I really only drink water when I'm reading. Sometimes I'll drink like apple juice, but that's in the morning. But water's like my main choice. E is e-readers or physical books. Now I like physical books, even though e-readers are more convenient for travel, but you just can't beat the look of physical books on a shelf or the way a book feels in your hand. F is a fictional character you would have dated in high school. Now I'm going into high school, and based on my current preferences, I would probably date Percy Jackson from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series because he's so cool and funny and he's just great. G is a book that you're glad you gave a chance. And for that, I have More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. I've never read an LGBTQIAP+ book, and so this is my first one. And when I started this book for the first time, I couldn't really get into it. I don't know why. But the second time, I flew through it. It was so good. Adam Silvera is so funny. H is a hidden gem book, like a book that most people have never heard of or don't talk about, but you really enjoyed. And for that, I have Magic by Angie Sage. I read this series in 5th grade and I really enjoyed it. The second book was the first book that I read really quickly. I read it in 2 days. I is an important moment in your reading life. And for that, I have When I First Read the Selection series by Kira Cass. Now I first saw this at Barnes & Noble's. I was with my friend, and she was like, you should read this book. And I was like, it has a princess on the cover, like, don't want to be holding that in public. But then I did read it, and it's not like one of my favorite series of all time or anything. It just got me into like binge reading and reading all the time because I finished this series in like a week. And it's what introduced me to BookTube. And so for J, you have to get a book that you just finished. And for me, that's The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Oh my god, this book is so good. So many feels. I like died at the end. If you haven't read this book and you like contemporaries, read it. K is kinds of books you won't read. Now, I'm not big on nonfiction. It's just, they're so hard to get into, and it's like you're stuck in this world, and you're stuck with things that did happen, and you can't really use your creativity as much when you're reading them. Like, I read I Am Malala for school, and it was a good book. It was really meaningful, but like, wasn't really my thing. L is the longest book you've ever read, and for me, that's Winter by Marissa Meyer. Now, this book doesn't look really big, but it has the dumb thin pages, and it's almost 830 pages. M is the book you had a major hangover after, and for me that was Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. I finished this and I wanted to throw things like out windows, breaking glass, like I just couldn't. I needed a day to reset, and then I would go into Clockwork Princess. N is the number of bookcases you own. Now, I have 4 wall-mounted bookshelves in my room. They're just ledges on my wall, and those are stuffed to the brim with books. And so I have this other bookshelf. It's a normal bookshelf. It's kind of empty, but it has a couple books on it. O is one book you've read multiple times. Now, I'm not really big on rereading books, but the book I've tried to reread multiple times is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. My sister did something with my copy of this book, so I don't know where it is. But if you haven't read it, read it. Duh. P is your preferred place to read. I like reading in my bed. I just like being in my room. Nothing big to it. It's just my bed. That's where I read. Q is a quote that inspires you or gives you all the feels, and I have 3 for this one. Sorry if I look down because I have to look at the quote. So the first one is, one must always be careful of books and what's inside them, for words have the power to change us. From Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. The second one is, all those other things, they are the glass that contains the lamp, but you are the light inside. From Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. That series has some great quotes. And the third one is, you could rattle the stars, she whispered. You could do anything if only you dared. From Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. R is reading regrets. And for this I have 2 books, the same series, but I have Girl Online and Girl Online on Tour by Zoe Sugg. There's already a big controversy about these books, about ghostwriting, but they just weren't that good. Or at least I think they're not that good. People like them because Zoe Sugg wrote them, and she has such a large following that people like anything she does. And I have no hate on her. I like her. But these books just were not that great. S is a series you need to finish. And for that, I have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs and Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. I read this book a couple months ago, I think, and I just haven't read the other ones. I just didn't feel totally compelled to do it. And this one I just read, and I'm not that great at finishing series. T is 3 of your favorite books. And people are borrowing my copy of these, but one of them is just upstairs, so I don't feel like getting it. And these books are City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. U is something you're an unapologetic fangirl from. And based on my choices for all of the other questions, you might be able to guess that I love the Shadowhunters Chronicles. Cassandra Clare is my queen. Her books slay me. If you have not read The Mortal Instruments or The Infernal Devices or The Dark Artifices, do it. Just do it. You won't be sorry. V is a release that you're very excited for. And for this I have 2. I have Quest for Glory by Soman Shinani, which is the 4th book in the School for Good and Evil series. And then the other book is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I don't know what to think about this one. I love Sarah J. Maas, but I don't love Kale. He's interesting. Ooh, I'm also really excited for The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and someone else. Comes out later this year. It's a new trilogy about Magnus Bane, and I love Magnus. Magnus is the best. W is your worst bookish habit, and for me this is getting 20 pages into a book and then stopping, doing it again with a different book, stopping, do it again, do it again, do it again, and then finally I read an entire book. I cannot tell you how many times I've done this. X is X marks the spot. Find the 27th book on your bookshelf. Now, my bookshelf's upstairs, so I'll be right back. Okay, 27th book on my bookshelf is The Elite by Kira Cass. Why is your last bookish purchase? I last ordered Notable Shadowhunters and Denizens of Downworld. It's still shipping, but I will complete my Cassandra Clare collection. I will do it. And the last letter Z is a Z Snatcher book, which is a book that kept you up late into the night. And the last book I did that with, I can't really remember if this is the most recent one, but I have A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, the finale to the Court of Thorns and Roses series. I love the characters in this book. like Rhysand and Cassian and Azriel and Amryn and Morin and Farah and Nesta and Elaine, and oh my god, they're fantastic. That was the A to Z book tag. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This was a lot of fun to do, and I'm going to tag Zoe from Zoology and Ryan from Ryan and her books. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I post twice a week. My Goodreads is down below along with my last video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!